And welcome back to Straight Talk. I'm Chris Willis. Today we're talking about automation with President and CEO of the Portland Business Alliance, Sandra McDonough, and President of ECONorthwest, John Tapogna. Thanks for staying with us. And let's talk about the policy agenda included in this report. We can bring it up on the screen and we'll go through this one by one. And a lot of key points here. First and foremost, supporting Oregon's innovators and seizing the economic opportunities. Also, you mentioned on the agenda, addressing Oregon's housing challenge to attract top talent. Not always so easy. Win the race with technology through education. Again, we touched on that. And building a social safety net for the future. We touched on that as well before the break. Let's start with supporting Oregon's innovators and seizing the economic opportunities. This is important to do right out of the gate.
Absolutely. A lot of the innovation that is driving the technological advancements was created here in Oregon at Intel. Incredible work going on out there. So we need to make sure that we continue to be a driver through research, public research, private research, and the job encouraging the innovators through helping them build out what they have and invest in that.
Yeah, agreed, John?
Absolutely, and you see great examples of it already. The state was a partner in the OHSU Night Cancer Center. They've also been a partner down at the University of Oregon with Knight's Gift down there. You have some great collaborations going on between Oregon State, University of Oregon, and the cross-laminated timber growing industry. Because you've got architecture, you've got forestry, et cetera. And so the more that we rally around that and organize our efforts.
And I want to get to the next one in a second, but is collaboration going to be key in this going forward? I mean, a lot of folks are going to have to collaborate on this.
The numbers that we have published look scary, and the worst thing that could happen would be for people to put their arms up and say, oh my gosh, we have to slow this down. We have to embrace it and figure out how to work together so that we come out a winner and we're creating jobs through automation.
This next item on the policy agenda is widespread. We talk about it all the time, and it is addressing Oregon's housing challenge to attract top talent. Got to get the talent here. You want, I mean, and it's already a destination for so many people, but the housing challenge is huge. And how do we go about that?
We have a supply issue. We need more housing at all income levels. So we need to do everything we can do to get more housing built, and that will help with the pricing that is out there, which is a real obstacle for young people moving here. They think, boy, Portland should be inexpensive, but what they find is relative to our incomes, our housing market is actually quite high and growing, so we absolutely have to get more supply.
Top talent's key to get them here? We got to be able to attract top talent.
Absolutely, and all you have to do is go and look at Silicon Valley right now and what's happening with the housing prices and what's happening to the talent. It is starting to repel, and to our benefit, to some extent, folks are opening offices up in Portland and other places in the state.
Winning the race, John, with technology through education. We talked about STEM briefly. We also talked about the graduation rates, the numbers that just came out in Oregon. How important is education to get this race of technology?
It is, if it's not the top of the list, it's
right there.
And that's, like I said before the break, that was our response in the first wave as we're coming off the farms and into factories, et cetera. A great book from about 5 years ago was titled The Race Between Education and Technology, and two Harvard economists looked at sort of the history of skilled labor growing in the United States versus the rate of technological change. If one gets ahead of the other, you have an imbalance and you end up with income inequity. You talked about that, where we have too few skilled people to interact with that technology. They're scarce, their wages get bid up. And all the lower skilled labor, there's too few jobs to go around, and you end up with the big unequal income.
And Sandra, during the commercial you and I talked about, or actually I had said, the state should be shouting from the rooftops here to education, right? I mean, this is important.
Absolutely. All levels of education. We once again came out with really bad graduation rates compared to the rest of the country. We have to make it better. And we have to make sure that we continue to invest in our community colleges and our universities. We've disinvested in them over the years. They're going to be innovation centers, and we've got to make sure we continue to invest in them.
Jobs lost to innovation and low graduation rates, unfortunately, seem to go hand in hand. Okay, you talked about building a social safety net. This is really important with this anticipated automation and its effect on job loss and potential job creation. How how important is having a social safety net? And tell us what you mean by that.
It's in the old days we called it a welfare system.
Yeah.
What happens when somebody loses a job for a reason that they're not really a driver on? What do we do as a society to provide a safe place for them to land? The system we have, much of the system we have now, was created back in the Depression. Yeah. So we really need to look at it and think about, what does it mean? How should it look in today's world? Look at things like earned income tax credits and other things that will help stabilize incomes for people who might be adversely impacted. And those are going to be the lowest educated and lowest income people that we really need to be concerned about.
John, is there a fine line between innovation and this job-killing technology? Is it, I mean, does one necessarily mean the other?
Well, I mean, they've disruption, I would call it.
Yeah, sure.
Not killing,
right,
necessarily, because most jobs aren't absolutely killed.
Right.
They are disrupted heavily, and they change. And so, yes, they have always gone hand in hand. This is nothing new, and it's. I think the key difference now is that we're anticipating that the pace of it is going to pick up,
sure.
and there's going to be more of it in more dimensions than we're used to.
Just a couple minutes left, and Sandra, I want to ask, we have the policy agenda, we have the study, we have all the numbers. Now the question is, what's the Portland Business Alliance do to support this policy agenda? What are the leaders of Portland going to do and actively do, and how do you support these kind of findings?
Well, the first thing we want to do was just create a picture of what's ahead for policymakers. I've never seen a specific state-by-state analysis of how technology will impact jobs, so we're ahead of the game on that. And then we work with our partners in the state to advance education agendas, to make sure that that stays top of mind, to look at the social safety net, to address the housing crisis. So we're at the table with our policy leaders working on these now.
John, are there steps already being taken in addition to that? Is this?
Oh, absolutely. Oregon Business Council and PBA have been down working on earned income tax credit, as Sandy had worked on the minimum wage a couple of sessions ago, et cetera. And since 2011, big robust backing of that 40-40-20 education agenda, and we just need to lean into that and double down the effort.
Where can people find the information here from the report?
Go to our website, www.portlandalliance.com, and you'll find the report there.
Okay, we just have a few seconds left. I would be remiss to have the leader of the business community here without saying it's holiday season.
It is.
People get downtown. How are things going? What are you hearing from folks downtown?
We're hearing great news from our retailers. Lots of people downtown shopping, going to the different events that are happening. We sponsor pop-up shops, and those are doing great. And I hope people will go visit one called Different Pigeon, which is in Pioneer Place. It's run by youth from New Avenues for Youth, formerly homeless youth who are now finding a way forward. Also, great shopping in neighborhoods all over Portland, so I hope people get out there. I certainly have.
Get downtown and enjoy it. Happy holidays to both of you. Thanks for being here. That is Straight Talk for this week. Thanks for being with us.